and a happy new year to you all. Um, like I said, I'm gonna do a couple videos, like probably tomorrow afterwards, uh, and I'm gonna talk about the movies that I'm gonna see and everything like that. So, but this today, I'm gonna do more so of a week 16 recap and then week 17 predictions. Early Christmas slate of games today, and early Saturday games as well. I'll talk about that. But we're gonna start with probably what most people are was talking about down in Charlotte. Let me not do that. All right, so the Carolina Panthers are now fourth place in the NFC South as they won over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by 3 points, 23-20, and it was pretty much like I kind of predicted a early slated low scoring kind of game. Both defenses, were trying to maneuver. They didn't really allow more than they didn't allow anywhere near 300 yards, and that's what pretty much what happened. Both teams' passing game got shut down. The Bucks had more rushing yards, but the Panthers had more yards per play. And I believe, yeah, both teams were both efficient on third down, but the Bucks more penalties, although that drew away the time possession, and they were 2 or 3 in the red zone. The Panthers were 1 or 2, 50% in the red zone. But the difference is that the Bucks' time possession and those penalties for 56 yards pretty much did the men for the game. And also defensively, when they needed a timely stop to get after Bryce Young, they just did not do it. Guys were just like completely missing assignments. And they don't really have great tackling linebackers. DB is pretty much a shell. He's not really been able to succeed high expectations that you would have thought. And for the Carolina Panthers, they're a young, surging team, has a lot of ebbs and flows. You would think that you would see a lot more from them, like what they could have sealed the division up, wrapped up last week against the New Orleans Saints, but unfortunately that didn't happen. And for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're on this 3-game skid. Like they lost, of course, last week to the Falcons at home on Thursday night. Then they lost at home again on Sunday, and then they going into Charlotte, and they just defensively didn't have no answers in the second half as far as third down, slowing down Bryce Young, and also stopping Rico Dow, and that pretty much did the difference in the game. What a win for the Carolina Panthers, and they're only going to continue to surge more often. And what a really good win for them moving forward. So, but now they got to play the Seattle Seahawks, but they're at home in Charlotte, so home field advantage could favor them. But at the same time, that's gonna be a really tough game. But I'll talk about that in the week 17 preview. But really good win for them. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Todd Bowles is pissed off. He's angry at his team, and I don't blame him. The team is not performing to the expectation at which we had thought that they was going to be. A lot of us thought that the Bucs were going to run away with the South, but the talent that they had, the roster that they constructed right now, they're proving to be the exact opposite. So yeah, I don't like the way that they're going, but we'll see moving forward what they can do. If they can get back in this race, and also if they can garner some big wins. All right, we're gonna talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Denver Broncos game. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, led by Trevor Lawrence, 4 touchdowns total. He had over 296 yards passing, and he was efficient, very efficient from the field, 23 of 36. And led by also with Travis Etienne having 16 carries for 50 yards. Parker Washington having a breakout game, 6 receptions, 145 yards for a touchdown. Bo Nix, on the other hand, he was okay. I mean, he had 352 yards. He was okay. He was decent. Had a touchdown and an interception, a turnover late in the game. R.J. Hart did not have a whole carry, 7 for 50 yards and a touchdown. And Cortland Sutton was efficient on third down like he usually is. 6 receptions for 86 yards. And it's only one lonely touchdown. But The Broncos had way more yards, passing yards, rushing yards, and had more yards per play. But the difference is they were 5 for 14 on third down, and they were 1 for 3 on fourth down, as they went for it 3 times, only had a 33% rate. As the Jags were 8 of 15, and they only had 2 penalties for the entire game, whereas the Broncos had 6 penalties for 61 yards. So that's the difference right there. Was the penalties, and of course the third down efficiency and fourth down efficiency that the Broncos just failed to do, and also being 1 for 2 in the red zone, and one of their kickers the kicker had missed an early field goal in the game that would have put the game in balance, but didn't work out in their favor. For the Jags, I think this is a story that needs to be talked about. They are on a roll. They're surging right now. They're probably one of the top remaining best teams in the AFC, and they're going to be a team that's going to be a dangerous outing in the playoffs. It's going to be hard to beat them, especially the way that this offense is being so dynamic, adding a lot of balance to the flair of the adding balance to the flair of the team, and adding a whole lot of balance to the flair. And then also Liam Cohen really sitting Trevor Lawrence down and really talking with him, and overall saying like, "Yo, you just need to really settle in and really settle in and garner in the moment." Settle in and garner in the moment. And he pretty much has been settling in. They've been running the ball better. Their offensive line's playing better. And also, you got to really look at the fact of the matter. The Jags defense has really been impressive. Dan Campanelli has really been doing an outstanding job instilling and willing that defense, despite the the injuries. The Trayvon Walker early on in the season, Andrew Wingard and Jerry and Jones, but they're back and they've been playing a lot better. Josh Hines-Allen is just absolutely dominant out there. And they're number 1 in stopping the run, and they're number 2 in takeaways. So this team is very dangerous. I don't know why people are not talking about them enough. I don't understand. I don't get it. But as far as the Denver Broncos goes, they're still a good team. Their defense is still elite, but I still have question marks on the offensive side of the ball because they had a lot of they're very one-dimensional, and Bo Nix can be a one-read quarterback, and that's a big problem. And then defensively, I don't know why they went from what they did earlier. They, instead of doing a lot of like cover 3 or cover 2 introvert and do a lot more cover 2 man zone defense, they went from doing that to just playing all out cover 0 straight man coverage. Just straight man one-on-one coverage, and that just did not work. I don't understand why they went from that game plan early on defensively that kind of slowed down the Jags, but you went from that to playing all-out man coverage, all-out, and then sending all-out blitzes and all-out pressures, and Trevor Lawrence was picking you guys apart. I don't understand why they was doing that. I don't like what Vance Joseph did. So hopefully, going into next week playing the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to be doing something. They're going to be doing some things differently and changing up changing up defensively their schemes and their mechanics. But other than that, they're still a good team. They're still going to be tops in the AFC, number 1, probably more than likely. If not, if they end up falling, they're probably going to be the LA Chargers may end up taking that spot if that happens. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll be enough sufficient to still be there. But it wouldn't surprise me if the LA Chargers end up winning the division. Wouldn't surprise me because they beat the Broncos earlier on in the year with a late field goal and a couple of bad turnovers, a couple of fumbles. So yeah, it would not surprise me if the Chargers do end up coming back. But I just think the Broncos still is efficient enough. It's still good enough of a team to really continue to really fit the mold. So this is a very, very competitive matchup, competitive game. I would not be surprised if we see this either in the divisional round or the AFC Championship game. I would not be surprised because both teams have a lot pride and a lot of left playing time playing for, man. And like I said, with Trevor Lawrence, I kind of knew this when he won, not only when he was won national championship with Clemson, but he also had those guys. I think he had Travis Etienne on his team. I think he had, I believe he had somebody else with, I don't know if he had, Sammy Watkins or somebody, but he had somebody on there. So I know when he won the Heisman Trophy back then, I figured he was gonna surge, and he's pretty much proven me right. And he's pretty much evolved and resurrected the tenure of his career, man. So definitely check them out and really continue to talk about them if you're the media. But anyways, getting over that, and let's get to probably one of the most controversial games is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Detroit Lions. As the Detroit Lions all game only had 15 rushing yards, while the Steelers had 239. They were absolutely dominant in the running game. And if they continue to play like that, if the Steelers continue to play like that and have a really efficient running game, and they're going to run away with the division. They won 29-24 with the Lions, and the Ravens lost, so they're pretty much running away with the division. They're pretty much going to run away with the division at this point. I don't see nobody. I don't see the Ravens coming back, man. And I'll talk about the Ravens later on, but because we might end up seeing the last of somebody. But Mike Tomlin pretty much once again saves his coaching job for now. Well, depending on if the playoffs happen and they got a home field advantage, and Aaron Rodgers has been sufficient. And yeah, he's gonna go down in most people's conversation as a top 10 quarterback to ever play the game. We know that, and he's probably maybe in most people's top 5. I don't believe he's in mine, but he's playing a lot better than what most people gave him credit and expected for a 41-year-old quarterback to do. And as for, and yeah, Jalen Warren, 14 carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, came Gainwell out the backfield. In the receiving game was great. He was really good. I like the additions of Adam Thielen and Marquez Valdez-Scantling because Aaron Rodgers played with one of those receivers before, so that adds another repertoire, familiarity, and then also back in Green Bay. And for the Lions, yeah, they was terrible. Like they were very one-dimensional. Jared Goff, he should not be throwing the ball 54 times. That's ridiculous. Though he had 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, their defense couldn't stop anybody to save their life. They couldn't generate any kind of turnovers. So yeah, it was a bad day for the Lions, and I think it's gonna be a regime change for the Lions and everybody pretty much on that defense side of the ball. I could pretty much see all being on or being released or possibly being traded. And those 2 plays, controversial plays, although there were bad calls on one of them, well, mainly the one where it was a pick play for Isaac Tesla. That was just dumb all the way around. I didn't know why he did that. I don't understand that part. Don't make any sense to me. But and how he got caught in a situation. And to me, I don't know why they even made that call because again, you're supposed to have leverage as an offensive player. But anyways, I thought that was a stupid call. Then, okay, of course, the offensive PI by Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know, after getting a pick play for a touchdown earlier that was called back, he got another push-off play, offensive PI, which that was the right call to make. That was the right call to make overall. So I think that the refs made some controversial calls that I wasn't a fan of. Then they made the right call and the right decision, but the Lions just were very one-dimensional, and defensively they couldn't get any stops. The Steelers was just dominant all game long. They continued to be efficient all the way throughout, and you got to give them credit where it's due because a lot of people was really looking at them like, man, can they really salvage their season? But so far, somehow, some way, they find ways to win ball games. All right, so the last game I'll just talk about very quickly is the Patriots and the Ravens. The Ravens are pretty much done, eliminated from the playoffs. You probably may see the last of John Harbaugh. I think if they lose next week to the Packers, yeah, this might be the last year for John Harbaugh. He's pretty much gonna be out of there. The New England Patriots came back from 11-point deficit, pass from Kyle Williams and from Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson rushing touchdown play after being pressured in the first half. Lamar Jackson for the Ravens went out with an apparent injury. I think it was to the hamstring. And then of course Ramondre Stevenson for the Patriots, he had 8 carries for 141 for 51 yards and a touchdown. And Stephon Diggs had 9 receptions for 138 yards. I don't understand and as far as the Patriots is concerned, um, they just had to rebound after giving up a 21-point deficit last game against the Bills at home. So they had to get this rebound win, had to humble them for a minute, and then they came back and they showed the resilience and the moxie and the lore. So you got to give them credit where credit is due. They continue to be as efficient as possible, man. So really good win for them. But as far as the Ravens is concerned, I don't understand the offensive coordinator why you take out Derrick Henry and not play him back in the game. For the life of me, that just didn't make any sense. And so I just don't understand what's wrong with this offensive coaching staff for them, man. It just don't make sense to me. And I just don't understand where they can go from there. But if it's John Harbaugh's last year, which I believe is going to be, because they're going to keep Lamar Jackson, there's no way they're going to let him go because they make too much money off of him. There's no way they're going to let him go. And then Derrick Henry, he's probably going to stay there till he retires. Todd Monken may be out of there. They may get another offensive coordinator. They really should, because his play call has been absolute trash. So yeah, that's just my thoughts about this game. Let's get into Week 17. All right, so let's get into Week 17, and we're gonna start with the Lions and the Vikings. Both teams are going in complete opposite directions. The Vikings are on a 3-game winning streak, and the Lions are pretty much lost 4 of their last 5 games. And my thoughts about this is, I really want to hope the Lions win this game and win out. But the way that defense has been playing and the way the injuries have been piling up, it's going to be a hard game. And I think Brian Flores will find some way to design some blitz combinations, design some schemes. I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings in this game, unfortunately, for Lions fans. I just can't see it winning. The Lions going to have to make a lot of wholesale changes. And yeah, it's not looking good for them. So give me the Vikings. I don't think they're favored in this game, but I'll take the Vikings to win out, and I don't even really need the points. I just think they're gonna win the game outright. Then you have the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, this is an easy one. Give me the Denver Broncos. I don't even need the points. They're gonna win the game outright. The Kansas City Chiefs on their third-string quarterback. They placed Trent McDuffie, Tyquan Thornton, and the rest of their starters on injured reserve. Yeah, give me the Denver Broncos. They got the number 1 seed to play for and fight for. So they're gonna be playing their starters. Give me the Denver Broncos and the points. I think they're just gonna win it outright. The Texans and the LA Chargers. Houston Texans, LA Chargers. I'm gonna go. A lot of people is probably favoring the Texans in this game. I think they're favored by 2.5. I'm on the opposite side of this one. Give me the Chargers. Give me the LA Chargers. I like what Jim Harbaugh is pretty much willing and instilling in his team, despite having 2 of their starting offensive linemen out for the remainder of the season, and Justin Herbert having a fractured left hand, non-throwing hand, and he's been playing solid. He's been playing really solid, and despite being on their second and third string back, because their main back was out until week 14. And they've been able to really make a lot of dimes and really make a lot of plays happen. I think the LA Chargers are probably one of the more underrated teams. And like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if they win this game and possibly go into Denver and beat them and win a division. That could be the case because they own the tiebreaker so far right now over them. So it would not surprise me if that happens. So give me the LA Chargers to win this game. And, I just think they're going to win the game outright. I think their defense is very efficient. I did not like the way the Houston Texans played last week at all. There's no way you should be in a close game with the Las Vegas Raiders of all teams. And the offense did not look good. I don't know what's going on with that, but, yeah, I did not like the way they played. And if you struggle against the Raiders defense, which is awful and atrocious, yeah, you're probably going to struggle against the LA Chargers team, who pretty much is going through a whole overhaul of a defensive lineman and their secondary with Derwin James being back there. man, he's gonna wreak havoc on C.J. Stroud, and the offensive line for the Texans didn't play well either. But yeah, give me the L.A. Chargers. All right, you got the other side of the game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Green Bay Packers. And I'm going with the Green Bay Packers in this game. I just think that they're gonna. I just think they're gonna win it outright. They're gonna dominate running the ball. They're gonna get that bad taste of loss and overtime out of their mouth. Being at home, being in Lambeau, and we don't know the best of what Lamar Jackson is, if he's gonna play or not, because of that injury. Um, so I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Give me the Packers. And I just think they're going to run the ball, play smash mouth football with Emmanuel Wilson and Josh Jacobs. I don't know the status of Jordan Love's injury either, if he's going to play. But if he doesn't play, it don't really even matter. I'm still going to go with the Packers. I like what Malik Willis did last game against the Bears, and I think he's going to continue to flourish. The Ravens defense can't stop anybody in the second half. Can't stop anybody all season. They don't get after the passer that well. I mean, Kyle Van Noy's getting older. Mike Green can't get after nobody. The only guy that was the best player on that line was Draymond Jones, and other than that, he got double teamed. It still didn't matter. I'm going with the Packers. I think that's gonna. I think they're gonna run the ball all over the Ravens. I think they're gonna throw it all around the yard. I don't trust the way the Ravens have been playing all season. Yeah, I'm going with the Packers in this one. All right, you got the. Let's go to the Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. Oh, and this is pretty much everything that hasn't already been said. The Colts pretty much have been pretty much out of their no started offensive lineman. Um, um, Conclaves, Braden Smith is out, along with Bernard Ryman. And then you don't have no corners also, which are Various Ward and Sauce Gardner being out. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that they're going to go in there and pretty much blow the Colts out. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel about that, man. I think they're going to go in there and pretty much blow them out and blow them away by 2 scores and a field goal. I'm going with the Jaguars to win that one. All right, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. This game can go pretty much either way. The Pittsburgh Steelers have always been known to struggle on the road in Cleveland, Ohio. They've always been known to struggle down there. But I don't think that's going to happen this time around. The Browns' defense is horrible against the run. And the Pittsburgh Steelers finally found a few weeks in a row where they've actually been running the ball well. They've been efficient offensively. Aaron Rodgers has been playing a lot better. And if they continue to be consistent, which I think they will in this one, give me the Steelers and the points. And it don't even matter about the division because I think the Ravens are going to lose that game. So the Steelers will pretty much lock up the division despite whether they win or lose. I think they're going to still win a division regardless of the fact because because the Ravens are a game and a half behind. So it's not even going to matter about it's not even going to matter about week 18. So give me the Steelers in this one. The Seattle Seahawks versus the Carolina Panthers. Give me the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. I think the Carolina Panthers are a young, inexperienced team that goes through a lot of ebbs and flows. The Seahawks have been consistent all year, and they played a lot better on Thursday night against the Rams. And they've been playing a lot better all season, even though their offense have been kind of, like I said, one-dimensional. Only had to rely on Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, Rashid, and Shaheed, and Jackson Smith and Jigba because they don't run the ball as great as they should. So, but give me the Seahawks in this game because the Panthers they're not really rushing the passer all that great, and their offense is not going to really throw the ball around the yard a lot. So give me the Seahawks in this game. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills because they got a lot more to play for. The Eagles already locked up the NFC East, so there's not really anything for them to really hold on and latch on to, only for seeding purposes. But give me the Buffalo Bills in this one. They got a lot to play for. They're trying to fight for that AFC East crown. So I got the Bills winning this game. And probably by maybe a couple of scores. I can see that happening. And the last game we have is the Chicago Bears and the San Francisco 49ers that I'm going to be talking about. And this game is probably going to be one of the best games of the week. You got two efficient teams, two efficient ball clubs that really are doing their thing. Man, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears to pull off an upset in Santa Clara and San Francisco. I'm taking the Bears. I like their offense. They run the ball great. Probably one of the better running teams in the NFL right now. Their defense takes the ball away at a high level. They get after the passer a lot better. I like what they're doing, man. With Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson's really instilling and willing Caleb Williams and as far as his efficient being as efficient offensively, getting the ball out of his hands quickly and reading through his progressions a lot better and smoother. And he's making a lot of timely throws, accurate throws, while scrambling out of the pocket and really being efficient as he possibly can be. I like the way the Bears is playing, so give me the Bears in an upset. And that is my picks for the week for the NFL. I will talk about the NBA on Christmas Day later on tonight, probably. Um, but if not, maybe I'll talk about recap the games on Saturday. I probably may do a live stream on the Christmas game tonight. So, but yeah, let's get to what I really wanted to talk about. If I can get to that. And for most of you who did not know, the Avengers Doomsday trailer had came out, and if you did not know that Chris Evans returns in Marvel's Avengers Doomsday, only in theaters December the 18th of 2026. I was able to see this after seeing Avatar Fire and Ash in the theaters, so I saw this preview of that before the movie played. And so yeah, my thoughts pretty much goes into consideration. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Oh. Damn it. Oh man, I was just in the middle of a live stream. Oh. yeah, well, that's one of the places. I mean, I do go to Arby's. I mean, I ain't gonna say I don't go there, but that's one of the only few places I'll go. Them and I do go to Chick-fil-A. I mean, that is a place I do go. I don't go there a lot, but I don't haven't went there a lot but lately. But anyways, oh. All right, sorry about that, guys. I was handling a family situation, but yeah, I'm back once again. So yeah, getting back to what I was saying about the Avengers Doomsday trailer leaks because I was able to see this at the Friday showing of the Avatar Fire and Ash movie that came, and then I was seeing this trailer teaser, I should say, more or less, because Chris Evans came into that same house location where him and Peggy, that's where him and Peggy Carter pretty much had their last dance in Avengers Endgame. And so of course he ends up going into one of the boxes after he drives his bike up to the old house, and then he ends up looking to his old, like, it's pretty much his old box with his belongings, and he looks at his old Captain America suit and his shield and everything, and pretty much everything comes full circle and relax motion for him, man. And that was a really good moment, to see. But my thing is, I think there's gonna be a lot of major characters gonna return, and that was the biggest reveal, and I love seeing that, and I think that's gonna be more so because they got a bigger enemy, a bigger foe, and I just did a video before explaining the power scaling of Doctor Doom. So yeah, man, they're gonna need a lot of more ammo and firepower from just the Fantastic Four, and also from the X-Men that's gonna be also in here, and also in retrospective, he transitioned and transformed back 15 years from Captain America, from the Captain America the First Avenger debut in 2011. This is pretty much retrospective and full circle. This is also taking place during World War II, I believe, during the events of World War II, back in the late 1930s, early 1940s. So that was really good. So I like the fact that they showed that. That was really great. Oh, Les Penna, hey, how's it going? What's going on? I'm doing all right. And Merry Christmas to you, Happy New Year's, and Happy Holidays. Excuse me. Yep. But yeah, definitely. But definitely that was a great thing. So I'll just read a little bit more according to what I saw from Slash Film, and shout out to them. Of course, my captain is easy to forget, but at one point Steve Rogers was mostly considered a B tier or even a C tier Marvel hero that everyone made fun of for dressing up as an all-starry and all-spangled. Fast forward 15 years after Chris Evans' debut as Captain America's 2011 First Avenger, will now become the break glass in the case of emergency Marvel hero designed to get folks hyped up for Avengers Doomsday. What a ride. Yes, Captain America is back and will have to help save the day all over again when Doomsday arrives. Man, I hope he's getting paid overtime for this. Check out the new teaser. We've known that Evans will return as a reprisal role for the next Marvel Cinematic Universe crossover extravaganza for some time now. But knowing is one thing, seeing is quite another. In fact, probably why reports was very low quality. Of course, here's the preview guide. Here's the him looking at him going through his old box of belongings and looking at his old Star Spangled suit. Thanks to the complete retooling of Doomsday that led Robert Downey Jr. to return as Doctor Doom. However, all of that is now getting out of the window for yet another nostalgia trip, and we do have mixed feelings about it. Avengers Doomsday teaser tries to play things on a minor keep of revisiting the comfy old house that we last saw in Avengers Endgame and only giving us glimpses of Cap as he chugs home on a motorcycle, wistfully takes the superhero suit out of the box and shares a tender moment with his and presumably Peggy's baby, and all leads to obligatory Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday title card, followed by the countdown ticker timing of the minutes until the film's release late next year. It's always very sweet and reverent. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed seeing Captain America coming in this moment. I think this is going to be really solid to see him and the newly looked Avengers and a newly looked team, because it's all a new hero. It's all a scope, and I really like the way that they showed the look of Doctor Doom as well. So that's going to be great seeing that happening. But man, just seeing Steve Rogers, seeing Cap going through old memories and going through things of like knowing that the team is on the line. This is going to be something special, man. But anyways, those are my thoughts about the Avengers Doomsday teaser. And pretty much if you want to read this article, go and look at slashfilm.com. I'm not going to read everything, but yeah, go on there and look at it. Also, go look at it on other websites like Screen Rant as well. So they'll talk about it more in depth. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you all for watching and commenting. And I will be back tomorrow, do some more movie-related content. And also pretty much covering the NBA since the NFL season is pretty much coming to an end. And yeah, and be on the lookout for that. And also be on the lookout for best of the year list, for best movies of the year list, or my top 10 movies of the year list. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. All right, guys, I'm out. Peace.